Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysan, TK over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood right there by Parkview Baptist off Airline Highway. What is it? Good meat. Say, what's the slogan?
Good meat ain't cheap. Cheap meat ain't good. They got all the steaks you need in the hamburger. New thing they've been selling a lot of, Ryan. They made the little slider patties out of the same thing they make their hamburgers with. And in fact, you ready for this, Ryan? It was, me and Mike had a meeting this morning at the Rougarou Golf Classic. We're serving sliders.
Nice.
11th tee at the Root. Is that 11 or is that 2?
11 tee box. 11 tee box.
Yeah, well, they keep flipping that stuff. So there'll be Tremonti sliders, among other things, served at the Rougarou Golf Classic on Monday, May the 6th.
That's right.
Mike and I hammered that out this morning.
Love it. I'm looking forward to trying those. By the way, folks can play in that Rougarou Golf Tournament. It's a fundraiser for the Baton Rouge Youth Baseball Coalition. All the proceeds will benefit the Baton Rouge Youth Baseball Coalition. And we've got individual spots and teams available. Go to brrougarou.com. You can check it out. Monday, May 6th, Greystone and Denham Springs. Course is in great shape. It's a 10 a.m. tee time, so it's not super early. And it's going to be awesome. A lot of celebrities will be there, and it'll be a full field. All right, so.
Am I going to be on the celebrity list?
You're getting
maybe I'm like on deck, maybe
just being a part of the Rougarou staff. How about that? Can we? Is that good? Today on Sports Shorts Daily, of course, also I'm in an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, LASportshall.com. We've got our own golf tournament May 14th up in Alexandria, and we're sponsored, of course, by LeBear's Casino. And LeBear's Casino we'll talk about because a little bit later on the show, because the sports book at LeBear's is where you can go to put your bet on the Pelicans and Kings tonight. We'll talk about that line a little bit later. But today we're going to get into LSU Gymnastics. They're in the Final Four. They're going for a national championship. Is that today or tomorrow, TK?
Tomorrow at 3 o'clock. This is their 10th trip to the finals. Used to be called the Super Six. Now it's Final Four. But they don't have that title. I know Dee Bro is in Fort Worth. 3 o'clock tomorrow on ABC. Main platform of ABC. It'll be LSU, Cal, Florida, and Utah. One of those four will be the national champion.
And those teams are ranked 2, 3, 4, 5.
Correct. In that order.
Yeah. What you don't see is Oklahoma, which is the shocker, and also being compared to last year when LSU won the national championship by playing Iowa and not having to play South Carolina, who was the best team in the country the entire season. LSU kind of dodged that bullet, got Iowa, blew them out in the finals. Well, this year they got the same kind of chance-ish. They don't have to take on the vaunted Oklahoma program that has kind of ended their dreams in the past. They got eliminated shockingly and didn't make it to the Final Four, and therefore the path is clear for second-ranked Tigers to take home a national championship. Now, that's on paper. We'll see if it actually happens. They used to go back-to-back days, the 8 and then down to 4, but now they have the day off, which you kind of like because, one, it builds the drama. It gives the athletes a chance to rest. If you've got anybody with maybe a little nagging injury, they get 48 hours maybe of therapy and treatment on it. So there'll be a ton of LSU fans in Dallas, of course, big alumni area in Texas. They'll be there for that national championship chance, and that would be awesome if the Tigers could do it. We'll talk, obviously, the draft is next week. So Monday or Tuesday, we'll have Joel Davis on. He'll rant and tell us about who the LA Saints should take. We'll talk a little bit more about the draft next week. No real surprises at the moment. Looks like Jane Daniels is solidly going 2 overall in that draft. LSU Baseball this weekend, big series on the road. Tommy will tell us about what's up with Paul Skeens as he is dominating AAA baseball. And then the play-in game. That's it. Win or go home tonight between the Pels and the Kings at the Blender, 8:30 p.m. Central Time start. And, obviously the winner advances as the number 8 seed in the West. The loser, their season is over with. And if it's the Pels lose tonight, Tommy, this would be a very hard pill to swallow. The Pelicans went into the final game as the number 6 seed against the Lakers last Sunday. They could have won, rested for a week. They did not. They got blown out. Now they take on the Lakers again on Wednesday or Tuesday. They could have won, locked in the 7 seed, rested for a few days. they lost. And now if they lose another one, that would be 3 losses in a row at home. And they would finish as the number 9 seed and out of the playoffs. So you could go from 6 to 9 in 3 games and lose all 3 games at home. That is something that I don't know if the Pels could get over.
It'll be tough to overcome that. They'll have a lot of months to do that. But, man, it's a tough story, that the way that narrative has changed in the last 10, 12 days.
The Pels, by the way, have gone 5-0 this year against the Sacramento Kings, which is surprising because I think the Kings have a nice squad. They have a couple of players, key players that are out for the Kings, not going to play. Of course, we know Zion is not going to play for the Pels. The Kings are actually a 1.5 favorite. The Pelicans were a 1.5 favorite earlier. I thought jump on the Kings. You and I both thought the same thing because A, Pels just aren't playing good at home. 2, we kind of had a feeling that Zion wasn't going to play. He took himself out of the game with 3.5 to go in a tie game on Tuesday. Why would we think he was going to play based on the fact that
Put on your volume. All right. Don't forget Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, 104.5 ESPN. We'll be at the Walk-Ons in Brewley. Hunter McCann, Ronnie Rance, myself, Joel Davis, who knows what else. Sports Shorts Radio, Saturday morning tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on 104.5 ESPN. I want you to join us for that radio show tomorrow. I just pumped up the radio show there, Ryan, at Walk-Ons in Brewley tomorrow. Yeah, you were talking about the Pelicans. That line shifted when it was officially announced that Zion would not play. It moved by 3 points, which that doesn't put a lot of weight on Zion, but or the wise guys don't. But I bet the Kings before the Zion thing was announced. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Well, I think part of the reason that the line maybe didn't shift even greater than that is the fact that, one, the Pels haven't been playing well lately. They haven't played well at home. They have a better road record than home record, which is so bizarre. And then I think the fact that the Pels are 5-0 against the Kings, some of those wins have come without Zion. So therefore,
Right.
Hey, that's why the line probably didn't even move more. One of the reasons for the Pelicans' success is Herb Jones has been so good against DeAndre Fox, the superstar for the Kings. Herb was one of the best defenders in the league. You put him up against Fox, and he's kind of done as well as you can against that guy. He's held them to 40% shooting the entire year in the 5 games that they've played, less than 30% from 3. And so Herb Jones has really been kind of the key, and will be again tonight to lock up Fox on defense. A little bit of an undermanned team for the Kings. They're going to have a big one by Fox, and if Herb can kind of keep the status quo, then the Pels have a chance. I'll be in that number tonight, 8:30 at the Blender. Okay. Sold out game.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear it's a sellout. Starting at 8:30, it should be rocking. I mean, everybody can get a little liquid in them, and then we can go from there. But curious to see how that plays out for the Pelicans tonight. But with you being there, I'm sure they're going to perform better.
Well, here's what I did to make sure that I win either way, Tommy. I bet the Kings. I put $100 on the Kings plus 1.5, and I hope I'm wrong. And that's my donation to helping the cause, because usually I don't win my bets. So therefore, hey, if the Pelicans lose, I go home. I go home happy. If the Pelicans win, it's worth it. I go home happy either way. So I kind of hedged my bet tonight. All right, the LSU Tigers. I know you've got some thoughts. LSU Baseball is 3-12, halfway through the SEC. This is where the league on paper gets a little softer. The second half, you're taking on a team that I think in Missouri was like 10th in the league. You're taking on Auburn, who's 14th in the league next week. So, now you take on the number 1 team in the country in A&M in one of the polls the week after. But for the next 2 weeks, you've got very winnable series. Now, LSU hasn't won a series in over a month of any kind. But what's your takeaway this weekend? As, by the way, the Tigers announced that Gage Jump will pitch the first game, and then Holman will throw the second game. Again, you're going to go lefty-righty, and then TBD on the third game of the series.
Well, Ronnie, if 2 months ago, February the 15th, I would have told you, hey, Ronnie, when LSU goes to Missouri for the 6th SEC weekend series, Missouri's going to have a better SEC record than LSU. You'd have said you'd have figured I had too much whiskey here at Germani's. But Missouri's 5-10 in the SEC. LSU's 3-12. Wow, jumped then Holman, and to be announced Sunday, 7 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Tonight's on the main platform of the SEC Network, and then you got to stream it Saturday and Sunday to get the Tigers. And who knows what the lineup's going to look like? And by that I mean batting order and/or certain positions and/or certain players. It's a mess. I don't know that it can be straightened out or not. Right?
I would say that. I would say that if you in order for them to get to 12 wins, which is in my opinion the lowest amount of wins that they can have to get into an NCAA tournament, and I do believe this year, because of the quality of the league and the SEC and everything else, that LSU gets into the NCAA tournament with 12 wins because it's LSU, because it's the SEC and all that, and where their power rankings will be and all that. So in order to get to 12, that means they got to win 9 of their next 50. They got to go 9-6 to get to 12, and to be a coin flip right at 12. I mean, not a lock, but have a chip and a chance. They got to go 9-6. There's no way this team goes 9-6 if they don't win this series this weekend. If they go 1-2, Tommy, and they, then they're going to have to go 8-4. In the last 12, and oh, by the way, one of those 12s against the number 1 team in the country. You're running out of time. So it has to happen. They have to make headway this weekend. They have to go, 4-2 in their next 6 at minimum to give themselves that chance to go to then have a chance to go 5-4 in your last 9 games. Which, and again, 5-4 in your last 9 games. If you go 4-2 in your next 6, it's still 5-4 against the number 1 team in the country. It's low percentage. And look, gun to the head, I don't think LSU gets there. I think LSU's not in the NCAA tournament this year. Right now, that's my opinion.
Well, here's a thought I have, Ronnie. I think if all of that's going to happen, okay, they got to win all 3 against Missouri this weekend. I mean, it's only going to be like 700 people at the game, and 300 of those will be Tiger fans. Missouri, although they played well in the last couple of weeks, swept Florida a couple of weeks ago. They got to win all 3 so that we can turn the light on and hope that they can get, down the stretch, get to Hoover, and get to the NCAA tournaments. Hosting's probably out of the question, hosting a regional. But I think to have anything good happen, they got to take all 3 from Missouri. And if you get 2 out of 3, you can be like, okay. But they got to get all 3 wins. I mean, I know it's supposed to go one at a time and all that, but in the big picture, they got to win all 3 at Missouri. Then come home against Auburn, who's the worst team in the league. Maybe get all 3 of them, and then who knows?
By the way, in order for LSU to host a regional, I said this before, they'd have to go 15-15. That means they got to go 12-3 in their next 15 games. That's not going to happen. Look, this is not the 2023 or 2008, LSU baseball team that won 23 games in a row. Like, don't look for that to happen. There's not any signs of life for that to happen. The biggest problem is they can't throw strikes as a pitching staff. There's one guy who's got, there's 2 guys, Holman and Dutton, who on paper really command the zone and don't walk anybody. Everybody else has high strike walk numbers as a staff, and what they've done in SEC play is horrific. They basically are averaging about a 3/4 of a walk per inning, in SEC play. That's of all the problems. Yeah, they're only hitting 250. You'd like for them to hit more. Last year, by the way, they hit 280 in SEC play. Now they're hitting 250 in SEC play halfway through. So you'd like to see that better. But the walks is directly leading to the high earn run average, where you have an earn run average of almost 8 in SEC play as a staff through 15 games. Like, you'd have to have a staff ERA of 5 or less to be in the league. You have almost an 8, and it's because you can't command the strike zone as a staff, not just a couple of dudes. The whole team, besides Holman and Dutton, can't throw strikes, and that is. And in Holman's walks are a lot for him in league play. Like, if you look at his non-league play versus league play, he's walking guys. So it is a staff problem. And that is something that I don't know that you fix, Tommy, in the middle of the season. If you are more than halfway through the season and you can't throw strikes, they've got a pitching coach making $500,000 a year who's considered one of the best pitching coaches in the country in college baseball. I'm sure he's tried everything he knows how to do, and it just ain't working right now. Like, the dudes just aren't ready. Like, and as a guy who struggled to throw strikes, I know that feeling, right? You're down in the bullpen, you're right here, coach. I mean, right here. This is where you want me to release it. I mean, you're trying, and it ain't happening. And usually those fixes don't come in the middle of the season. You don't go from a guy who can't throw strikes to a guy who does in the middle of the season while you're playing. Those are off-season things. That takes time, maybe a mechanical change, visualization, whatever, prayer. I mean, that's why I don't think this team is going to turn it around. Can they be better? Sure. 3-12, you can't be worse. But as far as like turning it around and going on some magical mystery ride, go 10-5 in the next 15 games, I don't see it happening, Tommy, because they can't throw strikes.
You're right about it, and you and I both being former left-handed pitchers, we can clearly, neither one of us was great, so we can clearly relate to that time when you just couldn't hit a spot to save your life, and then all of a sudden you'd find it and you'd be all right for a little while. But no, that LSU, and I'm gonna go on record. They got to win all 3 against Missouri, one at a time, all 3. If there's going to be that light at the end of the tunnel going forward, with everything else that we've said. So that's simply put, they got to win all 3.
A guy who, boy, did they miss, Paul Skeens. He is absolutely.
He's throwing strikes.
He never had that problem.
How about this, Ronnie? He pitched in a game the other night where he threw 34 pitches over 100 miles an hour in the same game. He's AAA baseball. He's worked 12 2/3, struck out 27. It's more than 2 per inning. His ERA in AAA, 0.00. Paul Skeens is just absolutely lighting it up. Now, there's a reason those hitters are in AAA. It's because they're not major league hitters right now. But he did good in the spring, limited action, small snapshot. So they talked some stuff I read this morning is that they're probably not far from calling him up to the big leagues.
Look, when you're the Pirates, you're trying to play the game of keeping him in the minors till you have to bring him up so that he's clocked.
This is a business decision,
right? Because his clock doesn't start before he can, leave you, basically. And the Pirates anticipate that Paul Skeens, as soon as he can leave Pittsburgh, will, and they're probably right. But the problem is this, Tommy, is that Paul Skeens, even if your Major League Baseball team isn't quite ready yet to make a run, you don't feel like they're good enough to win. You want to wait till you get better, whatever the reasons, right? If you bring Paul Skeens up right now, you're going to sell out anytime he pitches, or or close to it, right? I mean, you're going to have your biggest attendance when you announce, "Hey, Paul Skeens is starting pitcher tomorrow." Everybody's going to want to see the superstar, the number 1 pick, all that stuff. But the other thing is that pitching, everybody knows that pitching, it's not a question of if, but when do you get hurt? When do you have the arm tenderness or the surgery or the whatever? So every pitch you throw, you're closer to your next injury. And do we want that injury to come while he's in the minor leagues, or do we want to get him in the major leagues? And so I think, look, he's proven he's got major league stuff. He's proven he's got major league control. He's got major league temperament. What more do you need? I don't know. Okay, you want to give him 2 more starts and then bring him up? Sure, whatever. But the guy's ready to go, and you don't have 4 starters better than him in the major. You don't have 4 or 5 stars better than him in Pittsburgh. I don't give a crap. And like I said, he's like Steven Strasburg. When Strasburg pitched for the Nationals, when he came up, everybody wanted to see this superstar. That's what this guy's like, and you might as well bring him up.
Well, and the other Pirate pitchers don't have Olivia Dunn either, so I mean, you got to throw that in there. So
and she'll be after this weekend, because then her career's over with in gymnastics.
But no, I mean, I know it's like the Chris Bryant when the Cubs wouldn't bring him up because they didn't want to start that clock to tick. And the heck with that. We live in an immediate world. Pirates, like Ronnie, you just hit the nail on the head. They don't have 4 or 5 starters better than Paul Skeens. Okay, with everything that we know today. Get him up there and get it going. Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle, and maybe you can make a run in the playoffs this year. Because the Pirates have some talent. I've always liked Brian Reynolds, the outfielder for Vanderbilt. You know, that dude's a ball player, man. I've always liked. I remember him coming into the box and hitting like 4 or 5 home runs on the weekend, and some from both sides of the plate. So I've always liked him. So I've kind of watched the Pirates because of him, and then they got some other guys too. So get Skeens up there, like you said, sell some tickets, put some eyeballs on the thing, and sell some merchandise, whatever.
Speaking of merchandise, Tommy, folks need to go check out brrugaroo.com. We got some new hats that are pretty fire.
I saw that.
Yeah, we got some really nice hats at brrugaroo.com that folks are going to really, really like. So go check them out and get those before our first game, May 30th.
Are you going to have those hats this coming Monday night at Most Blessed Sacrament School when the Rougarou will be in the house for a big-time volleyball match? You're going to be there. Rue's going to be there. There's going to be merchandise. So you can go to brrugaroo.com or come out to Most Blessed Sacrament Gym Monday night, start at about 5:15. Game matches start 5:45. And you can get some merchandise. You can get some season tickets there, the whole bit. So kind of a Most Blessed Sacrament, pairing up with the Rougarou thing.
5:30 to 8:30 in the lobby of the Most Blessed Sacrament Gym. We'll have a merch table with merch and tickets and you name it, jerseys and hats and T-shirts and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, stop by and see us. We'll have our mascot there. New mascot suit coming May 10th, Tommy. May 10th. I'm excited.
All right. Well, I'm excited too. I'm getting. Had some people asked me last night about the Rougarou. Said it's coming. It's coming. Go to brrugaroo.com. And then, like I said, Mike and I talking about our plans for Tremonti's to be a part of the golf tournament on May 6th. So it's in the air. I know you've been working on it every day of the year since the season ended last year. And now it's starting to ramp up for me a little bit.
Yeah, and on May 8th, we'll have a big announcement about Tremonti's and the Rougarou. We're excited to tell you that little secret, but we'll announce it on May 8th. Look, it's right around the corner. It's crazy that it's so close, but I'm excited about this upcoming season. We got some great Rougarou gear. We've already got 38 players signed, some of which are second half players and stuff. You only activate 30 at a time. The reason you oversign is because guys will reach, might drop before the season starts due to, injury, due to sometimes pitching limits and things like that. And things just happen in life. So therefore you oversign to make sure you got plenty. And so we're excited about where we are as an organization, and definitely looking forward to May 6th. Okay, real quick, two news notes. Caitlin Clark, you said there's a rumor out there that she's going to get how much from Nike?
They said 8 figures, which would mean $10 million or more, and she's going to have her own shoe. Rumor. Dan Patrick's talking about it, and Patrick's right more than he's wrong. Nobody's right all the time. $10 million with Nike and have her own shoe.
What was the amazing statistic that's happened in the last few days with Caitlin Clark?
Since she was officially drafted by the Indiana Fever, they've sold more Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark jerseys than the Dallas Cowboys sold jerseys during the whole previous football season.
That almost doesn't sound right. Like, that's incredible.
Your boy from Portnoy's reporting it.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. That just seems absolutely insane that, that she's had that kind of impact. It's just been less than
the Cowboys had 50,000 people at a game. The Fever had 1,200 at games.
Cowboys have about 70,000 a game. It's insane. By the way, the CBA agreement for the WNBA is up next year. So I would think that the Caitlin Clark impact, where they're going to sell out every single game at home, and then obviously they're going to probably sell out every game on the road, and all the eyeballs and the numbers are going to go up on TV. The numbers are going to go up at the gate. they will be making more money when this next CBA rolls around. No question about that. The draft for the NFL is next week. We'll have Joel Davis on Monday or Wednesday with us to talk a little draft about that. And at the same time that the WNBA stock is rising, the NBA stock's falling a little bit. What was the news that came out this week?
The lowest rated television, cable TV, and linear TV, lowest TV ratings in the history of the NBA. Last year, they set a record for the lowest, and then it went even lower this year. And as you said when we were talking off, a lot of cord cutting, and the world's different now. People are watching on their phone, and that's not counting in these ratings or whatever. So, but that's the landscape of the broadcast world right now. So, it is what it is. But it could be a lot of reasons for that, mainly cord cut.
Yeah, you gotta see what all the numbers are, because like when you saw the numbers for the WNBA, ESPN and them were taking in all the streams and all that kind of stuff. When we heard that, they had 18 million people watch the WNBA, that's everything online and everything rolled together, and probably some people had redundancy on both, whatever. But so that's a little bit of a weird number. The world used to be based on the Nielsen ratings, and it used to be all about TV. It's not anymore. It's a combination of all the streams and all the different platforms and television. You got to lump it all together. So no doubt the NBA and NFL and everybody's TV numbers are going to go down each and every year, because more and more people are leaving television and going to watching it on apps on their phones and stuff like that, and streaming. And look, think about us with LSU Baseball, right? We've all now gotten accustomed to watching games on your phone, even if it's on ESPNU or maybe you got cable or you got Dish Network or something like that. You're used to watching it on your TV, but you watch it on your phone, or you watch it through the ESPN app. We're starting to just get trained to go in that direction completely, and it's going to be a time pretty soon where I don't even know if we're going to have TV ratings, Tommy. It's all going to be about the stream for the most part.
It's 100% going to be the case.
All right, tell us about Tremonti's on the way out of here.
Hey, come get some lunch today. Load up for the weekend. Cheap meat ain't good. Good meat ain't cheap. You got all your wine, your bourbon, your vodka, your tequila, every meat you can imagine, the seafood. Get some hamburger sliders. That's a new thing they've been putting out here, the little sliders. So come get that for the weekend. You'll be glad you did. On Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. Still got plenty of boiled crawfish and live crawfish going on. I ordered some sack of crawfish today for an event I'm doing next week. So Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. And I'm going to say that if you haven't stopped in here yet, you need to do it. Once you see everything that's here, you'll be glad you stopped by, and you'll become a regular, just like so many people are.
All right, for Tommy, I'm Ronnie. Tune in tomorrow morning. We'll check you out on ESPN Radio, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. You can download the app and listen to us live anywhere in the country. 10 to noon, we'll be at the Bruley Walk-Ons, the best walk-ons in the whole chain, the home of the Ronnie Rance mural. That's why. We'll be back on Monday for more Sports George Taylor. Until then, have a great weekend, and please like and share this video. Thank you.